Now you are taking 1.5 months to complete an examination, which is again ridiculous. The whole school gets shut down. Most of the decisions are taken without taking the students into consideration. I have interacted with students. I raised so many issues during my Seva chairmanship. They will say it's none of your business. They will say, oh, this is an administrative matter, or when things are going on, why you want to make a change? None of them want to really apply their mind.
Hello and welcome to ENN with me, Mary Sultana. And today we are with a well-known personality. Yes, he is a well-known educationist. He is the founder director of Assam Institute of Management and the former chairman of the Board of Secondary Education. And he is none other than Shantikam Hazarika, sir. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, for today, we just want to discuss with you regarding the current scenario of our Board of Secondary Education's curriculum. That is like in the past, as I am also a passed out people from Seba. So like in our days when I passed my matriculation or I was in the school, it was like we followed the January to December traditional format. So like, and now it has been shifted to the March-April format. So like, I just want to know, can you please briefly outline like what is the current scenario of April-March curriculum?
No, definitely there's no doubt that the April-March scenario is not at all suitable for this region. You see, education has to be, first of all, student-centric, and secondly, it has to be region-centric.
Yes, sir.
And especially when you know that a large number of our students, so their mobility is very limited. They have got very little knowledge about other things, etc. Plus, you see, they have to adjust themselves to the local seasons, etc. and which are not uniform all over the country.
Yes.
So I am very much against this one-size-fits-all, type of an approach towards education. And this has been, I think, my biggest criticism of the education scenario in general, and then this new education policy in particular. So there's no doubt that we must go back to the old system, of following the calendar year, that is January to December.
Yes, yes.
Because it is suitable from all sides of view, you see. So I think sooner we go back, the better it is.
Yes, sir. And as you have said, like this curriculum is not that much suited. So we, at a times, we also feel that the teachers or the students are also complaining about the compressed curriculum, which is being followed now. So, like, what would you like to say on that?
There again, you see, sort of what happens is the most of the decisions regarding education is being taken by people, who have no connection with education as such, who have no exposure to the actual needs of the education, because these are all bureaucratic decisions taken by people, who think that they know everything. So this has been the biggest problem. And when you talk about the compressed syllabus, etc., it's very interesting. You see, in our time, I'm talking about, say, 60, 70 years ago, we had 11th class, so school living was on 11th class. And in those days, our school final examination, we included the syllabus of both class 9, 10 and 11. That is 3-year syllabus were compressed into the one examination. And we had no complaints. We knew it. We prepared accordingly. In fact, about 4 months before the final examinations, our syllabuses were completed. So we used to take about 3 months for revision. So that was one thing, Whereas now you have only 1 year syllabus in the final examination, which I feel is very ridiculous. And that is why you have to attend coaching centers if you want to sit in competitive exam, because your school leaving examination is inadequate for you to appear in competitive examination, which was unthinkable in our time. And I don't think that thing has changed. Other things might change, but that thing shouldn't have changed. So this is ridiculous. Secondly, you will find in our time, we used to have exams continuously, In fact, we used to have 2 papers in the same day. There was no gap. Now you are taking 1.5 months to complete an examination, which is again ridiculous. The whole school gets shut down. So the schools where exams are held, they can't have any other thing in those examination time. So this is again a wastage. So a lot of these things are there. And another thing, what happens? Most of the decisions are taken without taking the students into consideration. I have interacted with students. I found that they don't say that you really have to have gaps between two papers. It is the parents, who insist on gaps.
Okay.
That I found. Other thing was, that if you're teaching them properly, if you're revising the course properly, and if they're attending classes regularly, then you don't have to again revise the whole course in the 2 or 3 days gap that you have in between papers. So all these things require broad thinking. It is not just what will happen to the syllabus or what will happen in the shift, etc. These are administrative issues, and administrative issues should be tackled by the people in Kahilipara, who are the administrative people. They are not doing their job properly, and because of which students are suffering, schools are suffering, teachers are suffering, you see.
Yes, sir.
And especially when you talked about this January to December thing.
Yes.
So when I was in Seba, I was taking up this. I tried to take these up, but there's nobody who is willing to listen. Like, for example, when I went to a village school, there the teacher was saying that what happens during the time when the farmers, especially, so in the morning they go for plowing.
Yes.
So they go early in the morning. So in between, see what happens then, the wife, she prepares the breakfast and sends the child to the field, to give the breakfast to the father.
Yes,
So the father takes break from the flying, then he takes his breakfast, and then the child comes back. And after that, he has got to go to attend the school.
Okay.
So the village school, they were saying that we wanted to defer the starting of class by about half an hour to 1 hour, so that the children can take proper rest in between. Otherwise, what happens is, student, when he hurriedly runs to the field, feeds his father, runs back, and then runs to the school, by the time he comes to school, he is so tired that half of them are asleep.
Yes.
You see, it's a very simple thing. So I said, why don't you change the timing by, say, start the school a bit late? They said the principal tried to do it, but then from Kahilipara, they said that he's up to some mischief and these things like that. They say they will take action against him. So because everybody starts at a particular time, so their time. And this is again sort of say, I'm sorry, I'm diverging, but what I'm saying, we have to be reason specific. You see, nowadays you will find our schools start at 7:38.
Yes.
Is it not? Which means the child has to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I saw some children, they get up just half an hour before the bus comes, which means the mother gets up early, prepares everything, wakes the child up, just cleans up his faces, etc., and then put him in the bus. And you will find half the children are sleepy. Is this the best time to go to school? In our time, we used to go to school at 10 o'clock. So which means I had the entire morning hour available, where I used to study, because that is the best time to study. But now nobody does that, you see. So when is the time to study? You get my point?
Yes.
So these are all things, until unless our education is student-centered, and all the people who are making these policies, until unless they really think of the students and also the region, this is going to happen. And this is what is happening.
Yes, sir.
You see, in the syllabus, for example, I always give this example. I found, in one of these NCERT textbooks, which was, they are applying to all the state schools also. There's an article on a Golconda fort.
Okay.
Now, in Assam, nobody knows what is a fort. They don't know what is Golconda, what are the local problems out there because of which that fort was built that way. So what will they understand? I was trying to tell them that in the English textbooks, write an article in English, say on Bihu, on their local customs, on their local area, so that once they know the subject matter, and if they read it in English, it will be easy for them to comprehend. It will be easy to find out that how do I think that I know, which I know in my mother tongue, how I can write that in English. Yes. That is how they will learn English. But if you ask them to talk about, those type of things, what even? They will not understand anything. So how do you expect them to learn English like that? But then you see, who is going to listen? That's the problem, The problems are there, but none of the people who are actually, controlling education, they don't bother about all those things, So that's the problem.
So then, in that sense, also as you have said earlier, like the traditions and the festivals, it's are all region centric.
Yeah.
Everywhere, all over India,
Yeah.
it's a diverse country.
Yeah.
So like it's very much different everywhere. So
Absolutely.
like in like how in our recent curriculum, the April March curriculum which is being followed, we see like soon after the school reopens, then there is the holidays for Bihu.
Yeah.
Then again, then for after certain classes, then again there's the examination. Like in between the festivity mood, the student they have to appear for
you see,
exams.
I will tell you how brainless these people are who are setting up this type of things. See, immediately after holidays, the exam starts.
Yes, sir.
So we have, first of all, already in the name of education, we are stealing childhood from our children. On top of it, they have a holiday, but they can't enjoy the holiday because immediately after the holiday, the exams will start,
Yes.
So you can see, what is the level of the people who are making these policies. They don't even understand this basic thing. And you try to tell them, nobody has got a time to listen. I raised so many issues during my SEBA chairmanship. They will say it's none of your business. They will say, oh, this is an administrative matter, or when things are going on, why you want to make a change? They will always say this, None of them want to really apply their mind. That's the problem.
Yes. Sir, if the government recommends to re-implement the old curriculum like by 2027 or later, what are the major recommendations that you would suggest to avoid the disruption?
You see, the question of disruption is not there because it's going to be for a fresh batch. So they might have to sort of say for in the initial stage, and they will have to have now what will happen? The existing class 10 or class 12 is going on up to April, whereas the new batch is also coming in from January. Yes. So there might be a small logistics problem, which will be only for 1 year. And that is not so difficult. You leave the problem to the schools, tell them, that you adjust amongst yourselves. They will be able to do it. The problem is that the school authorities do not have any, power to take any independent decision. I said, things that does not impact the curriculum or the syllabus, why don't you allow empower the school principal to do it? He will deal with it, he will stagger classes or something like that. It's a 1 year problem, After 1 year, the problem will be removed. Things will automatically smooth down. So this is not a problem at all. If they really want to do it, they can do it. But then then the thing is that the people at Kailipara will have to work. Now, are they keen on working or not? They have to apply their mind. Are they willing to apply their mind? It is as simple as that.
Okay, so then as you have said, like it is a very much difficult curriculum for the students. Do you find any kind of advantage also in between all the disadvantages, like any sort of small? Like,
no, you see, this thing is that we want to swim along the current. Because they say nationally everything is there, CBSE. Because for our education people, their benchmark is CBSE, yes, which I think is rubbish, by the way. Anyhow, so what happens is that if you are thinking that you have to go along with CBSE, why? If other students are giving their final exams in April, ours are giving December, they are getting another 3 months, yes, to prepare for subsequent examination, etc. Nothing happens. You see, I did senior Cambridge, and our exams were in December, whereas our colleagues in higher secondary, from the state boards, their exams were in this thing, March, April. It didn't make any difference. Except that, okay, we got 3 months of extra holidays, you can say, It is not at all an issue, you see. But if you want to make an issue out of nothing, you can't help it.
Looking ahead, do you believe like aligning the academic calendar more closely with Assam's local climate, festivals and agriculture cycle is essential for a truly student-centric education system?
Should there be any doubt about it? It is the very basic thing about education, you see. Education has to be aligned to the local needs. Education shouldn't be aligned to the whims of somebody sitting in Delhi, who has no idea what education is, and he is making the rules. It is absolutely out of question, What you have said, so there cannot be anything else about education. Education cannot be controlled centrally. There has to be certain amount of delegation. Yes. and I would say empowerment of teachers. You see, no two teachers are same, no two schools will be same, no two regions are same, you know. So until unless you really empower the teacher, that we are concerned with the outcome of education, not with the process of education. You see, you have got a syllabus, you have got exam systems. You tell the teachers that you prepare the students so that they have these outcomes, they are able to sit in these things. So every teacher will do it his own way, you know. But here now you want everything to be sort of say regimented, as if you are doing army parade, you know. So these things don't make any sense. And you have to give, you will find that for every half the time what is happening, the school principal is spending half of his time, running around either in Kahilipara or in the school inspector's office, because he can't do anything of his own. None of the schools have got proper principals. All the principals are in charge principals. If you're administration, you can't even administer. How do you expect good results out of it? Have you got my point? So that is what I feel, means one feels very upset, because our education administration is absolutely at the bottom. And that's why sort of say we are having so many issues. Are the children really learning? I'm not quite sure.
Yes, and with that, we also come across one major concern, which is the scheduling of the board exams, which is the HSLC and the HS examination in February, when Assam often experiences dry, foggy, chilly weather leading to widespread respiratory issues as well among the students. In your experience, how significantly does this cold or dry weather impact the students' health and concentration?
You see, what is happening, that is the another thing, that what we are doing to our environment. And as you see, all these things are interrelated, you can't focus on one thing ignoring the other. So these are the problems, and mind you, these problems are going to become more and more severe as we continue like this. Because what you are saying is not anything new. Everybody knows it, you see. But are they concerned? Are they taking these factors into account while they are making all those policies, issuing all those notifications? They're not. So what you are saying is the obvious, means anybody who ignores them is not fit to be there. As simple as that.
It is really an honor to sit next to you and learn so much from you. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time, and thank you so much, viewers, for watching ENN. Thank you.